Hey boys and girls, this is Mr. Bell, Mr. Bell's Math. Just wanted to go ahead and start talking about the coordinate plane and graphing on the coordinate plane. So that is actually the title of our video, Graphing on the Coordinate Plane. Our essential question, or what I want you to know by the end of this video, is how do you locate and name points in the coordinate plane? All right, it says it right here. How do you name and locate points in the coordinate plane? All right. So let's talk about naming points in the coordinate plane. A definition that you need to remember that's important is the definition of a coordinate plane. And it's formed by two number lines that intersect at right angles. Okay, and that's what we have right here. I got a vertical number line and I got a horizontal number line. Okay, the point of intersection is 0 on each number line. So my horizontal intersection is here at 0. My vertical is also at 0. Okay. Now, several definitions that you need to be aware of. Okay, so hopefully your Cornell notes are going to be full of definitions. All right. The two number lines are called the axes. Okay, so here's my y-axis and my x-axis. Okay, the horizontal axis is called the x-axis. So horizontal is flat. Kind of think about the horizon. The vertical axis is called the y-axis. So the one that goes up and down is called the y. And sometimes they'll be labeled, sometimes not. Okay, the point where the axes intersect is called the origin. So where these two number lines cross is called the origin, and that's at 0, 0. Okay, the two axes divide the coordinate plane into four quadrants. Okay, and you can see right here, let me get let's do blue here and highlight it. Your first quadrant is quadrant 1, and it starts right here in the top right. The second quadrant is quadrant 2, and that's in the top left. Quadrant 3 is right there, and then quadrant 4 is right there, and they each have their own special characteristics, and we're going to talk about that as well. All right, so an ordered pair is a pair of numbers that gives a location of a point on the coordinate plane. The first number tells you how far to the right, which is positive, or to the left, which is negative, the point is located from the origin. Okay, so how far to the right if it's positive, and how far to the left if it's negative. But this is the starting point right here in the origin. The second number tells how far up, which is positive, or how far down, which is negative, the point is located from the origin. Okay, so this is the starting point, and your first number in your ordered pair tells you whether to go right or left. Right for positive, left for negative. The second number of the ordered pair tells you which way to go up if it's positive and how far to go down if it's negative. All right, up for positive, down for negative. All right, the numbers in an ordered pair are called coordinates. That's kind of why we talk about a coordinate plane, because we have coordinates located in it. The first number is the x-coordinate, and that's why we have the x-axis. And the second number is the y-coordinate, the y-axis. Okay, let's look at an example here. So it says graph and label each point on the coordinate plane. All right, let me get a pen or a pencil. Let me kind of make a bigger marker tip, and let's go. We have the first one is ordered pair, -5, 2. -5, +2. So that tells me that I start at the origin, which is right here. Let me use this highlighter. Origin's here. -5 means I go to the left. So I go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's -5 right there. And then the second number is positive, so that tells me I have to go up 2 places. So I go up 1, 2. And guess where my point is? Right there. Okay. And we can even label it -5, 2. Okay. The next point is 3, 1.5. Okay, so the 3 tells us that on the x-axis we go to the right 3 places. 1, 2, 3. The second number, 1.5, tells us we go up because it's positive. 1.5 spots. Okay, so I'm at 3, and I go up 1, and I go up a half right there. Okay, I don't want to go all the way up to 2. So that's where my point goes. So 1.5 is right there. And then you can label that point. 3, 1.5. And that's that point. Okay, and here's our last point. Last point is 0, -3. Okay, 0, -3. So my first number is 0. So that tells me I go to the left. Oops, let me back up there. I go to the left or to the right 0 places. Well, if I'm going 0 places, that means I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here on the x-axis. Okay, so that tells me I'm not going anywhere. -3 tells me I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and that's where my point goes. Okay, that's where my point goes, and I just label it 0, -3. Okay, that's all there is to it. Next one, it says we can use a grid like this to read scale. Okay, so reading scales on the axes. It says a scale of an axis. Oops, I didn't want to write. I wanted to use my pointer tool. The scales of an axis is the number of units that each grid line represents. Okay, now here in our example, it says the graph shows the location of a city, right there at the origin. It also shows the location of Gary's and Jen's house. Okay, the scale on each axis represents miles. Okay, so here we got 10, 20, and then probably 30. Okay, 10, 20, and 30. And then we got 10, 20, and 30. Notice they're the same. Okay, you skip 2 lines and you got 10. You skip 2 lines, or skip 1 line, I guess, and you got 20. Skip a line and you got 30. Okay, and those are miles. So it says each grid is 5 miles on a side. Okay, so the scale is each grid square is 5 miles on a side. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Just like we said, going up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right. It says Gary's house is at -25, 15. So if we go over 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that's -25, and up 15. 5, 10, 15. That's Gary's house. And which is 25 miles west, right? And 15 miles north of the city, or of the origin. Describe the location of Jen's house relative to Gary's house. Okay, Jen lives right here. Okay, so Jen, she doesn't live north or south. She just lives to the east. We got a little compass right here, so she lives to the east. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 miles. Okay, so it says Jen's house is located 6 grids to the right of Gary's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since each grid is 5 miles on a side, her house is 6 times 5, which is 30 miles from Gary's house. Okay, so that's really all there is to it. You'll be given different situations, and you'll need to find out the location on the grid, how far away parts are, how they are in relation to each other. I may have a point up here, and I may have a point down here, in which case you might like go up and say, ooh, you know, this person here is north of this person, and then east, or west rather, so many places, so many blocks, so many miles, whatever. Okay, so make sure you answer the questions. Make sure you mark your assignment as complete.